Hello and welcome to the next video in our series exploring the map of Runeterra. At this point we've gone through the jungles of Ixtal, over the deserts of Shurima, climbed to the peaks of Targon, set sail to the port city of Bilgewater, wandered through the fog of the Shadow Isles, walked over the magical land of Ionia, reforged in the fires of Noxus, and faced the bitter cold of the Freljord. Now it is time our journey takes another step to the proud kingdom of Demacia. Demacia is located here on the left side of the map. Demacia is a strong, lawful kingdom with a prestigious military history. Demacia's people have always valued the ideals of justice, honor, and duty most highly, and are fiercely proud of their cultural heritage. But in spite of these lofty principles, this largely self-sufficient nation has grown more insular and isolationist in recent centuries. Now, Demacia is a kingdom in turmoil. The capital of the great city of Demacia was founded as a refuge from sorcery after the nightmare of the Rune Wars, and built upon the riddle of petricite, a peculiar white stone that dampens magical energy. It is from here that the royal family has long seen to the defense of the outlying towns and villages, farmland, forests, and mountains, rich with mineral resources. However, following the sudden death of King Jarvan III, the other noble families have not yet approved the succession of his sole heir, young Prince Jarvan, to the throne. Those who dwell beyond the heavily guarded borders are increasingly viewed with suspicion, and many former allies have begun to look elsewhere for protection in these uncertain times. Some dare to whisper that the golden age of Demacia has passed, and unless its people are willing to adapt to a changing world, something many believe they are simply incapable of doing, the kingdom's decline may be inevitable, and all the petricite in the land will not protect Demacia from itself. Now we will look at the champions of Demacia, those you might find should you journey there. Keep in mind this video is not focused on the champions but the zone itself, so we'll only touch briefly on each one of them. There'll be separate videos in the future for each champion. Garen, the might of Demacia. A proud and noble soldier, Garen fights at the head of the dauntless vanguard. He is popular among his fellows, and respected well enough by his enemies, not least as the scion of the prestigious Crown Guard family entrusted with defending Demacia and its ideals. Clad in magic-resistant armor and bearing a mighty broadsword, Garen stands ready to confront mages and sorcerers on the field of battle in a veritable whirlwind of righteous steel. Fiora, the grand duelist. The most feared duelist in all of Valoran, Fiora is as renowned for her brusque manner and political cunning as she is for the speed of her rapier. Born to the noble Laurent family in Demacia, Fiora claimed the household from her father in the wake of a scandal that nearly destroyed them. Now she is dedicated to restoring the Laurents to their rightful place among the great and good of the kingdom. Silas, the Unshackled. Raised in one of Demacia's lesser quarters, Silas of Dregborn has come to symbolize the darker side of the great city. As a boy, his ability to root out hidden sorcery caught the attention of the notorious mage seekers, who eventually imprisoned him for turning those same powers against them. Having now broken free, Silas lives as a hardened revolutionary, using the magic of those around him to destroy the kingdom he once served, and his band of outcast mage followers seem to grow by the day. Lux, the Lady of Luminosity. Luxana Crownguard hails from Demacia, an insular realm where magical abilities are viewed with fear and suspicion. Able to bend light to her will, she grew up dreading discovery in exile, and was forced to keep her power secret in order to preserve her family's noble status. Nonetheless, Lux's optimism and resilience have led her to embrace her unique talents, and she now seeks to bring greater tolerance and understanding to her homeland. Galio, the Colossus. Outside the great city of Demacia, the stone colossus Galio keeps vigilant watch. Built as a bulwark against enemy mages, he often stands motionless for decades until the presence of powerful magic stirs him to life. Once activated, Galio makes the most of his time, savoring the thrill of a fight and the rare honor of defending his countrymen. But his triumphs are always bittersweet, for the magic he destroys is also his source of reanimation, and each victory leaves him dormant once again. Jarvan IV, the Exemplar of Demacia. As the king's only son, Prince Jarvan is heir apparent to the throne of Demacia. Raised to be a paragon of his nation's greatest virtues, he is forced to balance the heavy expectations placed upon him with his own desire to prove himself on the battlefield. An exceptional warrior in his own right, Jarvan also inspires his troops with fearsome courage and selfless determination, raising his family's colors high and revealing his true strength as the future leader of his people. Kael, the Righteous. Born to a Targonian aspect at the height of the Rune Wars, Kael honored her mother's legacy by fighting for justice on wings of divine flame. She and her twin sister Morgana were the protectors of Demacia for many years, until Kael became disillusioned with the repeated failings of mortals and abandoned this realm altogether. Still, legends are told of her punishing the unjust with her fiery swords, and many hope that she will one day return. Morgana, the Fallen. Conflicted between her celestial and mortal natures, Morgana bound her wings to embrace humanity and inflicts her pain and bitterness upon the dishonest and the corrupt. She rejects laws and traditions she believes are unjust, and fights for truth from the shadows of Demacia, even as others seek to repress it by casting shields and chains of dark fire. More than anything else, Morgana truly believes that even the banished and outcast may one day rise again. Sona, Maven of the Strings. Sona is a virtuoso of the stringed Ithwa, speaking only through her graceful chords and vibrant arias. Her genteel manner has endeared her to the Demacian nobility, though some speculate her arresting melodies actually emanate magic. A dangerous prospect in the kingdom, silent to outsiders but understood easily enough by close companions, Sona plucks her harmonies not only to soothe injured allies, but also to strike down unsuspecting enemies. Lucian, the Purifier. Lucian, a sentinel of light, is a grim hunter of undying spirits, pursuing them relentlessly and annihilating them with his twin relic pistols. After the Wraith, Thresh, slew his wife, Lucian embarked on the path of vengeance, but even with her return to life, his rage is undiminished. Merciless and single-minded, Lucian will stop at nothing to protect the living from the long-dead horrors of the Black Mist. Poppy, Keeper of the Hammer. Runeterra has no shortage of valiant champions, but few are as tenacious as Poppy. Bearing the legendary hammer of Orlan, a weapon twice her size, this determined Yordle has spent untold years searching in secret for the fabled hero of Demacia, said to be its rightful wielder. Until then, she dutifully charges into battle, pushing back the kingdom's enemies with every whirling strike. Vayne, the Night Hunter. Shauna Vayne is a deadly, remorseless Demacian monster hunter who has dedicated her life to finding and destroying the demon that murdered her family. Armed with a wrist-mounted crossbow and a heart full of vengeance, she is only truly happy when slaying practitioners or creations of the dark arts, striking from the shadows with a flurry of silver bolts. Quinn, Demacia's Wings. Sponsored by the noble Bovelli family, Quinn is a ranger knight of Demacia who undertakes dangerous missions deep in enemy territory. She and her legendary eagle Valor share an unbreakable bond, and their foes are often slain before they realize they are fighting not one, but two of the kingdom's greatest heroes. Nimble and acrobatic, Quinn takes aim with her crossbow, while Valor marks their elusive targets from above, making them a deadly pair on the battlefield. Shyvana, the Half-Dragon. Shyvana is a creature with pure elemental magic blazing in her heart. Though she most often appears humanoid, she can take her true form when necessary, that of a fearsome dragon, incinerating her foes with fiery breath. Having saved the life of the Crown Prince Jarvan IV, Shyvana now serves uneasily in his royal guard, struggling to find acceptance among the suspicious people of Demacia. Xin, the Seneschal of Demacia. Xin is a resolute warrior loyal to the royal family of Demacia. Once condemned to the fighting pits of Noxus, he survived countless gladiatorial bouts. It was not until he faced the forces of King Jarvan III in battle that he decided to relinquish his past life in favor of serving what he saw as a more honorable cause. Armed with his favored three-taloned spear, Xin now fights for his adopted kingdom, audaciously challenging any foe, no matter the odds. And so that's it for the champions of Demacia. A lot of related stories here, and we're definitely going to come back to these champions in future videos. But let's get back to the zone itself. High Silvermere, the city of raptors, is a large city located in the rocky highlands of northern Demacia. It is known as the City of Raptors due to its large native population of silverwing raptors. The original Crown Guard family mansion is located in High Silvermere at the foot of Knight's Rock. Knight's Rock is a rocky mount at the edge of a waterfall. The house of the Crown Guard mansion is the main home of the Crown Guard family. Raptor Area is located at the top of Knight's Rock. The area is the headquarters of the Raptor Knights and their mounts. Silverwing raptors are griffin-like creatures native to the high crags of northern Demacia. Raptors are rare and voracious predators known to attack lone farmers and occasionally even armored convoys of soldiers. Nevertheless, particularly exceptional individuals have made an art of building a rapport with these noble beasts, forging such a bond that the raptor may permit itself to be ridden. These riders serve in the Demacian military, scouting ahead or harassing the enemy advance. The young raptor egg hatchlings have yellow and light blue feathers, growing into their signature silvery hue with maturity. The great city of Demacia is located on the western part of the Kingdom of Demacia. Galio is stationed just outside of the capital. The city of Demacia is the main political, cultural, religious, military, economic, and educational center of the country. Demacia sees itself as a shining beacon of the hope for humanity, and as such, the nation and its capital are visual representations of this concept. Towering spires punctuate its skylines. Petrocite, a pale magic-resistant stone, and marble are the materials of choice. The royal palace of House Lightshield is from which the King of Demacia reigns. Like most cities throughout the kingdom, the capital itself sits to a natural port overlooking the Conqueror's Sea, with the majority of the surrounding towns resting on a plateau. Memorial Road is a pilgrimage road where Demacia give honor to their fallen. Situated on Memorial Road is the resting place of the colossus known as Galio. A main entrance to the grand city of Demacia, its roads lead directly to the noble family residence and ends at the King's Rock in the center of the city. The Temple to Lightbringer is one of the oldest structures in the capital. This temple honors the legend of the Winged Protectors, which embody Demacian idols of duty, honor, and tradition, and we know them as Kale and Morgana. Demacian architecture is inspired by the Winged Sisters, mainly by the Protector, Kale, and is defined by its simplistic and yet elegant design. Buildings have vast courtyards with lavish gardens and masonry. Other wealthier buildings have massive interiors with sculptures seemingly part of the building's foundation. Petrocite, which comes from living trees, are cut down and mixed with limestone to create strong construction material. Most buildings are reinforced by petrocite. This magic nullifying substance is used as a tool while strengthening the structure. Its primary purpose is to ward off any magic from the area where the building is located. Galio, commissioned by the elders of the kingdom, is the sculpture which was initially built by Durand as a petrocite shield for the military. The Great Wing statue would become vital to the defense of the nation throughout its history, also serving as a symbol of Demacia's might across Runeterra. Petrocite is a magic dampening material used in the Demacian military. It is also utilized in architecture and tools for its white, elegant appearance. Now let's look at a bit of the Demacian military. The design ethos of Demacia is elegant, yet minimalist and austere. Its armor and weapons are not overly ornate. Demacia boasts a small but elite standing army. Its captains and generals lead from the front, and their warriors follow with unwavering discipline. Sometimes referred to as silver steel or rune steel, this alloy is highly regarded across Runeterra. It is rumored that Demacian armors quench the metal in blessed waters to offer protection from magic in battle. And so that's it for Demacia. Honestly, a very pretty zone. I get a very holy light paladin vibe from it, especially when you look at Garen, who honestly just comes off as a paladin to me. And you have Galio, who's like this holy statue kind of thing. I like the Kale and Morgana dynamic, and Silas I think is like a great story. I want to see more about Silas for sure. I honestly really want to see Garen go at it with Darius from Noxus. I feel like Noxus and Demacia are just such stark opposites to each other that they probably clash a lot. Even the color schemes, I feel like that's intentional, making Noxus very red and Demacia very blue. But yeah, an awesome zone, and excited to explore more in the related stories for sure. That's it for Demacia. Goodbye for now, and I will see you in the next one.